I quit last weekend. Yes! Dreams can come true. This video is sponsored by Vivo Life Protein. Link and discount code in the description box. And for the chance to get your question answered in the next of these videos, comment down below. Question 1 this week is from Ashley Lauren. My boyfriend has put on quite a lot of weight since going vegan and keeps blaming the fact that he doesn't eat meat as to why he can't clean up his diet properly. He says he will never be as big as his meat eating friends now. What should I say to him to encourage him to keep going? And also, do you ever get that feeling that you're missing out on something? Yeah, I'm missing out on 14 of the 15 leading causes of death in the West. In my experience, it's actually a lot easier to get in shape as a vegan. You know, there's plenty of examples of people really rocking it. Nimai Delgado, Jahina Malik, both IFBB pro athletes, you know, big, shredded. The only problem is his indoctrination, like these little things in the back of his mind niggling away that we've been told since birth. Carbs make you fat, you need meat for protein, you know, all this BS. Show him some of these vegan athletes that are thriving on places like Instagram and YouTube. Patrick Baboumian with World Strongman titles. Tory Washington smashing it in bodybuilding. Again, another IFBB pro athlete. You've also got 2014 Mr. Universe Barney Duplessis, looking as big and ripped as ever. I just heard from one of the producers of Game Changers that they're going to announce a date soon. If you've not heard of the Game Changers movie, they've gone all around the world filming all the top vegan athletes, just really destroying it. It really is going to destroy this protein myth once and for all. It really is going to be a game changer. So make sure he gets to see that. And other than that, maybe you need some professional help. So someone like myself, I write nutrition plans bespoke to the individual. If anyone would like a nutrition or workout plan, hit me up at henchherbivore.com. Kay Kona, what do you think of the claim that a vegan diet will not work long term? It's bull. From the overwhelming preponderance of data now, it is irrefutable. The more whole plant foods we eat and the less animal products and processed plant foods we eat, the longer we live. Obviously, there's a difference between, like, you know, we say vegan diet. Well, vegan tells me your ethical standpoint. It tells me what you're not eating. Doesn't tell me what you are eating. So I'd say there's vegan diets and there's vegan diets. Pick kale, quinoa, and lentils, you know, over Coke and potato chips. I think the best evidence probably we have is the Adventist Health Studies 1 and 2, where you've got, it's kind of like a randomized control study because these people, due to their religious beliefs, they believe that we come back to re-inhabit our bodies. So they practice healthy living. So they don't smoke, they do exercise, they don't drink. And you've got a lot of vegans, you've got some vegetarians, you've got some meat eaters. Even among the meat eaters, meat only makes up about 4% of their calories. So they're very, very conscious of what they're putting into their bodies. And across virtually everything, like longevity definitely, the ability to not get nearly all of the diseases, the vegans win hands down in pretty much every way. And what I will say is, you know, these vegans, 20% of their food is processed food. They're not completely whole foods vegan. So imagine what the life expectancy and disease prevention would be then. And then you've got shining examples, people like Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, who sadly died recently, age 104. He was working as a heart surgeon into his 90s, just so functional, so full of life, so lucid. Yeah, the evidence is all there. Fabigoo, can you explain the amino profile difference and if it actually matters between animal and vegetable protein? Often when I get the protein debate, I talk about bioavailability and how the only superior one is whey, but I don't really know how to explain the difference in amino acids and building muscle. Hashtag for the animals. So in actuality, it is true. Animal protein is a little more bioavailable than plant protein. However, it doesn't end there. You know, omnivorous eaters, they'll hear that little tidbit and that's all they want to know, and they'll say, oh, my protein's more bioavailable. Well, there's several reasons why plant protein is actually superior to animal protein. So when we eat meat, meat is contaminated with endotoxins from bacteria that is prevalent in slaughterhouses. You can't get away from it. Your meat is going to have these endotoxins. They create inflammation throughout the body. So some of the amino acids from the meat that we eat have to be made in the liver into C-reactive protein to quell the inflammation. So in that way you get less free amino acids with which to build muscle. Because animal proteins are acidifying, we actually pull amino acids from our muscle tissue. They go to the liver, they're turned into glutamine, which is an alkaline amino acid in order to buff the acid in our blood. And then there's the advanced glycation end products associated, more with animal products than with plant foods. They accelerate the aging process throughout every tissue of our body. In muscle tissue, they cause cross-linking of the proteins, which makes, over time, the muscles to be less functional. And again, over further time, that will cause sarcopenia or muscle wastage. Some of these things I'm talking about, like when we're younger, our testosterone's high, we can get away with them to a degree, kind of offsets the balance. But into middle and older age, as testosterone diminishes, and you've eaten enough advanced glycation end products, you're going to see these muscles wasting away. Not so in the vegan athlete. And very quickly, a lot of people say that plant proteins are incomplete. They don't contain all the essential amino acids. Again, that is bullshit. All plant foods contain all essential amino acids. Granted, they are in various ratios. All you need to do though is eat a range of different foods, which we should be doing for our health anyway. We should be eating some legumes, some whole grains, some nuts, some seeds, some fruits, some vegetables. We need to do that to get all the micronutrients in. Well, there's varying amounts of amino acids in all these different products. And by the end of the day, if you're eating enough calories, for the vast majority of people, you'll be getting plenty of protein. And we have pools of amino acids that are stored in our body. So there's no need to protein combine at meals, which we used to think because the February 75 issue of Vogue magazine lied to us. For the largest strength athlete, of course, we need a bit more protein than your average Joe. So we'll be wanting to concentrate on things like the legumes, so lentils, chickpeas, split peas, all the different types of beans. You can also use tempeh, tofu, seitan, these more protein dense, slightly processed foods. And of course, a bit of protein powder. The best one's VivoLife, link in the description. In practical banter, how much longer would you be a personal trainer for until you just do YouTube? I quit last weekend. Yes! Dreams can come true. Anurag Sharma, you've asked questions before. Which carnivore on YouTube triggers you the most? None of them. Someone like Svej wants to eat bits of raw animal in front of vegans. We already know that people are eating animals. It's not news to us. I just think that they're very silly boys with tapeworm and other parasites. Luke Elliston, why do you hate people who eat meat? I don't hate anyone. 5 minutes ago, that's what I was doing. We've grown up in a society that says it's normal, natural and necessary to eat animals. So most people simply don't know better. And if you don't understand why others would dislike the act of eating meat, I invite you to swap places with an animal in a slaughterhouse. Queued up, watching others get brutally hacked to death, smelling the fear, hearing the agony, knowing that you're next. I guarantee instant enlightenment. Vegan food gives me almost no energy and tastes bad. How can I change that? Learn how to cook. Yoglev, you sound familiar as well. How many calories do you need to maintain your body weight currently? I'm cutting on 4,000 calories. So to maintain probably 4,500, I'd say at this stage. Jukey Junk, can you give a thumbs up and smile at the same time for 10 seconds, please? Christian Zamora Garcia, it's hard to care about heart health when I smoke cigarettes. Veganism has still continued improving my quality of life though. Does this fit into your nutritional knowledge? So there's only one critical risk factor for heart disease, and that is an elevated serum LDL. 3 things raise LDL, cholesterol, trans fat, sat fat. So if we're whole foods vegan and we're avoiding, the tropical oils like coconut oil, palm kernel oil, cocoa butter, we shouldn't be raising serum LDL. So the 9 compounding factors like smoking, genetic predisposition, diabetes, hypertension, etc., 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 is irrelevant. You can smoke, if your LDL's low enough, you're not going to get heart disease. You probably will get lung cancer though, so I suggest you stop it. It's me, Luigi. How to cut and retain muscle properly. That's easy. It's really like calories in, calories out. If we're in a deficit of 250 to 500 calories a day, that is like half a pound to a pound fat loss a week, which the American College of Sports Medicine says, is about optimal. Much more than that, and you risk dropping muscle mass as well. Of course, we need to be getting adequate protein in to maintain a positive nitrogen balance. So shoot for 2 grams of protein per kilo of lean body weight. And in that way, we should maintain the most muscle mass. Ray Kilgore, that's a very cool name, not very vegan sounding, but very cool. Do you believe that corporate controlled governments will ever give us the correct advice on nutrition and give vegan activists a fair shake by not creating draconian laws against those who are only trying to save life on Earth? Only if it becomes more profitable for them than what they're doing now. Michael Lawless, another cool name. I'm on a plant-based diet and I read you need external cholesterol from proteins to create new skin cells. Wondering if you know anything about this, as I can't find any information on it. Thanks, keep up the good work. That's very easily counted. Just go up to the person and so show them that you've got skin on. So yeah, cholesterol is a constituent of cell walls, of all the cell walls of our body. You know, if it was necessary, there wouldn't be many vegans walking around now, would there? So we create all the cholesterol we need from acetyl coenzyme A, which we produce, and happily we don't produce extra to give us a heart attack. So that's pretty cool. It's my boy from Mind for Combat. Do go and subscribe to him, not now, after this is finished, if you're into your MMAs and that. Yo, Hench. So I've taken your advice and been on this vegan kick for about a month now. Good man. And have had a question, as I'm sure my rookie knowledgeable ass is doing something wrong. I'm sticking to a high carb diet and have found that since I made the transition to veganism, I'm having issues with my sleep. Any advice? Okay, so it's hard to know what's going on there. I mean, for one thing, you know, you seriously change things around and your body, you know, will be unstable and it has to find its equilibrium again. So, you know, over time, I'm sure things will settle down. One thing you could check, like, have you got adequate of different nutrients? I mean, magnesium's important for sleep. So perhaps plug your food into an app such as Chronometer that tracks your micronutrients, make sure you're getting everything in there. And, you know, just practice good sleep hygiene. So number one thing, first thing in the morning is to get outside, get the blue wave light beams into your eyes. That sets up your circadian rhythm, so your body knows, oh, you know, in 16 hours it's time for bed. You know, blackout blinds, earplugs, all that good stuff. You know, get off your technology at least a couple of hours before bed, so again, you've not got the blue light waves getting into your eyes there. And if you want a bit of assistance, Vivo Life do a hot chocolate with reishi mushroom, which is meant to regulate sleep cycles, so that's very good. And then CBD oil is great as well as a relaxant and as an aid to sleep. Both of those benefit me no end. So link in the description to both of those. And some discount codes. Billy Bow Magic Show, I like that. Activists still use the dietary cholesterol argument, but all I've read is that dietary cholesterol doesn't actually raise your cholesterol. How true is this? It's complete baloney. Over a certain point, dietary cholesterol doesn't raise your cholesterol further, but at that certain point, you're laying down atherosclerosis that causes heart disease. They often point to a study funded by the egg industry where they fed people 1, 2, or 3 eggs per day. And they noticed that, again, there was no difference to serum cholesterol. What they didn't do is put in a control group of whole foods vegans, you know, without this cholesterol, and you would see that their serum LDL would be through the floor at the point where you can't actually get heart disease. So they were studying a sick population. YouTube wants you to watch this video next. If you don't watch this video next, a fleet of space monkeys will come along and panic you. You don't want that. Space monkeys.